Hello?
Yes, Deepika. So, Deepika, is Satish going to join? I mean, I'm not sure. Satish.
Yeah, I joined.
Okay.
Did everybody join? Sharita, are you there? Sharita? Shailaja and Sharanya, you have to join on the Zoom link that I shared on the... Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, join there. Looks like everybody joined. Hello, Satish?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like everybody joined. All 6 people are there,
Okay.
excluding me. We can start.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Deepika, for coordinating. Hello, everybody. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know once you guys are able to see it. Can you guys see it?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, nice. First of all, good morning. So we'll start with the Mulesoft introduction today with the demo sessions wherein we'll be covering multiple things. But before starting the session, okay, I would like to have a quick introduction about each of you. If and a background, are you from IT or a non-IT person? How did you hear about Mulesoft? And what motivated you to learn MuleSoft? I mean, what's your expectation from this session? So, whosoever wants to go first, and then that would help me in my sessions to cover up all the scenarios which are possible.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I audible? Hello.
Yes. Yes. It's quite low, but you are.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, better now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Sharanya. I'm working as a senior Salesforce developer. So actually, we don't know anything about MuleSoft, but we recent times this is what is like. There is a multiple integrations where we can use MuleSoft in with Salesforce. So we would like to integrate another system using MuleSoft.
Okay.
So we would like to know that how it works and yeah, everything.
Okay, very nice. Okay, so you already have Salesforce developer experience, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So how long are you working on Salesforce?
8+ years.
8+. Nice. Great. Thank you, Sharanya.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
So,
Are you? Yeah.
myself, Shailaja, I'm also working as a Salesforce developer since 3 years from Smart Data. So, we have no knowledge on MuleSoft. We need a complete information about that. How
Yes.
integrations happens with Salesforce. So, what is the use of MuleSoft and why at present the MuleSoft is on demand. So, what is how it goes and all.
Okay, okay. So you heard about MuleSoft while working on Salesforce with your colleagues and everybody, right?
Yes.
Okay, understand. Nice. Being a Salesforce developer, it's good to have knowledge on MuleSoft as well. That's really nice. Okay.
Add device, huh?
Sorry? Who was it? Who was it?
I don't think maybe their audio was unmute. All of a sudden.
Okay.
Dasta, you're not audible.
Nilima?
Yes,
Yeah. Could you please give a quick introduction about yourself, please?
yes. Myself, Neelima. I'm working as a junior software engineer in Smart Data. I worked on the Salesforce from past 1.5 year. So
Okay.
we do not have the knowledge on the MuleSoft. So we would like to learn about the MuleSoft and very enthusiastic about that because it is very much craze outside now.
Okay.
Hey,
Right.
good afternoon. Am I audible now?
Yes. How do you pronounce your name? It's Peda?
Yeah, you can call me Peda.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Nilima. Yes, Peda.
Hey, yeah. So, are you Deepak or Satish? Satish, right?
No, I am the trainer myself, Parth.
Okay. Okay. So, in this team, everybody is a Salesforce developers. Everybody is working in the Salesforce projects. Okay, everybody is working for a client, and mainly our objective here is to have a MuleSoft because it is just a kind of a plugin and having the third-party integration for data syncing. So that is our objective to know.
Okay.
And not just a plugin, and also need a customizations using this MuleSoft native coding. And so that is the main agenda to reach out for this MuleSoft training.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So and you are a lead here or a sales?
Yes. Yeah, I lead, I manager, I handle the clients. I am taking ownership on the Salesforce clients and projects.
Ah, okay. Okay. So that's really nice. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Peda. Cherry? No. Anybody else left? Charita?
I think she has audio issue. I'm not sure, but we can continue.
Okay, so she's also from the Salesforce developer background, right? Almost holding experience nearly about 5-7 years, right?
Yeah, everybody is a Salesforce developers here. Yeah.
Okay, that's really nice to hear it. Okay, nice. All right. A quick thing about me. I am working on MuleSoft from last 10 years. working as an integration architect. So I develop solutions, architectural solutions for the multiple organizations who are trying to move to Mulesoft, or who have their complexity inside Mulesoft, having multiple systems and everything. So I provide them solution architecture and the technical architecture with the sequence flow diagrams and everything. Okay. Moving ahead. Okay. So today's agenda, we'll first learn what do you know about Mulesoft? I mean, just out of curiosity, if you know anything about Mulesoft. Okay. Then what are web services? What are actual APIs? What is Mulesoft at core on a very high level, not going technical right now. Okay. Then we will have a tour of the Mulesoft components that it provides. Okay. Then what is the importance of having certifications in Mulesoft? And then we can have a Q&A sessions if you have any questions, any questions and that you are looking answers for. Okay. So I already got the background that you all are from Salesforce background and eager to learn Mulesoft. So you already have a primary idea on what Mulesoft is and what it does. But now we learn how it does it. Okay. Yes. So if you see, Salesforce is the leading CRM platform in the world, that you already know. Okay. Since you all are from Salesforce background, so it doesn't need a better introduction here. But Salesforce currently, I mean, I would say gathered Mulesoft 2 years ago. Mulesoft was its own company, but then Salesforce acquired it 2 years ago, and now it's part of Salesforce. Okay, Salesforce currently holds multiple channels like Tableau and Slack as well, with which it is easily to integrate. I mean, there are multiple integrations with the Slack and Tableau connectors, and there are direct connectors available in Mulesoft to connect with Salesforce, Tableau, Slack, and many other systems. But since it's Salesforce supported, it's easy to connect from the security perspective. Okay. Okay. First of all, what are web services? So from the, I mean, as you all are Salesforce developer, do you guys have any idea what are web services? Or did you develop any web services earlier with any of the coding languages?
Yes.
Yes, we did many.
Oh, many. Okay. So could you explain what you did? I mean, just in a high level one-liner.
Okay. Yeah, basically, sorry.
Saying something?
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, basically it is a kind of standard messaging protocols. Okay, so we will be used for these for interacting with any third-party applications, for sharing the data between two.
Okay, all right. So sharing the data, you develop the services, that is, you expose something and then you get the data from the target systems and given it back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So it's correct. Okay. So if you see here, a web service is a way for two machines to communicate with each other. Now, it can be either machines or two softwares or a UI portal or or any Android application, any iOS application or anything. Okay.
Yeah.
Then what a web service does is, it is deployed on any of your server. It listens for any request coming from the portal or from the UI, then serve that request over a network or over a specific tunnel, connect with the backend system and gives back the response. Okay, that's what web services do. Okay. Now these web services can work on either, because nowadays HTTP and HTTPS protocol are very much are widely used and are and considered as a standard approach to communicate with within the web services. Okay, so a web service is developed to connect, operate, and to exchange data messages from the front-end system to the back-end system. Okay, now the messages can be exchanged via XML or in the JSON format. We will learn about all these formats, XML, JSON, later in our demo sessions. Okay, but this is what we call as a web services. Now, there are RESTful and SOAP web services, but RESTful works on HTTP and HTTPS protocol, while SOAP works on the XML messages. Okay, so SOAP can never have a JSON messages as a request payload to that particular web service, while REST service can have both JSON and XML, but working on the HTTP or HTTPS protocols. Okay, now you might have heard of the term API a lot with Mulesoft. That Mulesoft is a tool to develop a API or to construct a API, to manage a API. But how is it different from a web service? Because if you see from the definition, the web service looks exactly same like API. Okay, so first of all, API stands for Application Programming Interface. Okay, it acts as an interface between your source system and your target system. Okay, now this API also allows to communicate, exchange data between two systems, which we saw in web service as well. Now, if you see, there is a client and there is a server. Okay, the client sends a request to the server with the specific data or requesting for any specific data from the server, and server gives back the response. Okay, this is the protocol that we follow in an API or in a web service. Now, let's consider an example of an API where, consider an example, you go to a restaurant. Okay, when you go to a restaurant, you place an order to the person in front of you. He listens to your order. Then he goes back to the chef, inform the chef that this is the order that's been placed. Chef prepares the order, and then the person comes back with the response to you. Okay, in our case also this thing happens. Okay, so if you see where I told you, right, this client considered this as a person, okay, who took the request, went to the server is a chef, who prepared the data for you, and then gave the data to that person. Now that person took the data and gave it back to the client. Understood? Okay, so you all might have used this website www.makemytrip.com to book anything or flights, movies, or anything. Okay, inside Make My Trip works entirely on the API microservices approach. That is, they have split it, each of their component, into a format of API, so that can be leveraged or reused multiple times. That's just one of the example I tried to put in here. Okay, any questions until here before I move ahead?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. Sorry, was there something?
No, I'm good. I'm just telling them.
Okay. Now, web services versus APIs. Okay, they are exclusive to each other. Okay, now every web service that you see can act as an API, but the vice versa is not possible. Okay, because APIs are a chunk of web services. Okay, they are splitted into multiple web services, but the web service is a traditional approach. We can consider this and name it as an API, but with the modern approach, when we develop a new API, we cannot name those APIs as a web service. Okay, We will gather more information on how is it different. I'll explain it here in today's session. Okay. If you see, APIs are evolution of web services. As the basic purpose, the core purpose of the web service and the APIs are the same. Okay. So web service and APIs are good. Now coming to the SOAP and REST services that we were discussing earlier, for the HTTPS protocol, what are SOAP services and what are REST services? Mostly any API that we are going to develop on MuleSoft or whenever you develop it, it can be of two types. Either it would be a SOAP service or it would be a REST service. Okay. Now, SOAP service is considered as more secure protocol and mostly used in the banking domains. Okay. Now, SOAP services are mostly exchanging data over the HTTP protocol and the XML message structure. Okay. In the SOAP service, the message and the request and the response are always in the XML format. Okay. Now it uses WSDL. WSDL full form is Web Services Definition Language. Okay. That is, we define the architecture, we define the definition of the SOAP service that we have exposed with the request, the response, everything is defined in that particular WSDL. Okay. So it uses that WSDL, develop the API in MuleSoft, and then we expose it. It is complex to understand XML because it's very tightly coupled. It has annotations, it has namespaces, so quite complex to work upon. And that's why we came up with the approach of REST services. Okay. In the REST services, we can exchange data over HTTP and HTTPS protocol. Okay. But the message structure can be of both type, JSON and XML. Okay. Instead of WSDL, REST uses RAML, okay, which is called as REST API modeling language. This is also a definition of your API. So at first, when you develop any API, we will develop the RAML. That is, we will expose a API definition, how my API is going to look like. Okay. We will define the request, the response, the query params, the URI params, and everything inside that RAML. Give it to the architect or the business stakeholders. This is how my API is going to perform. Okay. Once they approve, we start the development. This is called as the API lifecycle. We will cover that API lifecycle as well later. Then this is more user friendly. I mean, JSON is very easy to understand, and since you all are from the Salesforce background, you might have came across JSON format or the JSON payload structure. So not to go deep dive into this. However, we'll cover this also later. Moving ahead. Anything until web services, API, SOAP, and REST. These were the basic things that we tried to cover. Okay. So now, not only MuleSoft, there are other tools as well in the market. I would say many other tools in the market, which does the same logic for us, but MuleSoft stands apart from all of them. Okay. If you see, there is a chart prepared by Gartner on the various platforms that are available in the market. Okay. If you see, the vision is on the x-axis and the execution is on the y-axis. Based on the vision and execution, MuleSoft stands apart, and the only competition MuleSoft currently have is with Informatica and Delbumi. Even TIBCO is nowadays coming up. It's not there, but it's also coming up, and it's also in the leaders platform. So there are 4 major platforms right now: MuleSoft, Informatica, Delbumi, and TIBCO. But after the acquisition of MuleSoft by Salesforce, MuleSoft stands apart. Okay, because whenever there are multiple clients with the Salesforce, and whenever a client goes to Salesforce with the subscriptions and for the access and everything, right? Since MuleSoft is an add-on feature, every organization wants to integrate something. It is widely used in the organizations currently, and that's why I heard in the introduction, it's a vast thing. People are crazy. It's because MuleSoft is widely used nowadays with Salesforce integrations and with many other systems. Okay. Before we move ahead to what is MuleSoft, I would like to demonstrate one thing to you, right? I mean, on the paint, why exactly do we use MuleSoft over web services? Just give me a second. Like meeting controls. Yeah. Suppose you have a web UI here. Okay. And then you have one of your Salesforce database. This is your Salesforce database. Understand? And this is your web portal, that is web portal for any for any organization. Consider this as an XYZ organization. We are trying to create an architecture, and a client says, why do you want to go with MuleSoft? Okay, you can develop the web services directly from the web portal, make a Java web service or a directly web service to any portal, make a call here via Java web service and deliver the things to you, right? Java service will give back the response. Simple. Source system, target system. What is the need of having MuleSoft as the middleware in between? Okay, here comes MuleSoft. And now what we want is web portal will connect with MuleSoft. Okay, MuleSoft will connect with the Salesforce database. Take the response, give the response back to MuleSoft, and MuleSoft responds it back to the web portal. Okay. Now, why do we have MuleSoft in between? If the same thing is performed via your Java service and via MuleSoft. Okay. Anybody who wants to guess, or should I go ahead? Just to make it interactive so that you don't get bored.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So let's suppose there is one more platform, your Android application. Okay. Now this Android application also wants to fetch the data from the Salesforce database. What we'll do is we'll create another Java web service, make a call here to the Java database, okay, and then gives back the response. Correct? This is also a Java service. Now there comes one other application, which is Android application. Sorry, iOS application. Okay, this is iOS application. Then comes one other system who wants to get the data, from Salesforce. And what you will do is you will keep on creating payload. You will keep on creating different Java services to interact with the database. Now, once Salesforce database changed its credentials, suppose for an example, if Salesforce database changed the credentials, then you need to update and maintain all the 4 services. Okay, and all the 4 services will stop working. Okay, you need to inform all of them that okay, there is some glitch in connectivity, and I will come back to you. While with the modern approach, everybody wants the response very quick, very fast, and there should not be any downtime. And for that purpose, every organization is now moving towards the API-led approach, where they want everything. Okay. Now I'll create a new slide. Where let's take this web portal, other system, Android, iOS, then comes middleware, then comes your Salesforce database. Now all these systems will connect with only Mulesoft. All these systems will connect with only Mulesoft. Not just Mulesoft, but the middleware platform. And there would be just one open connection between Mulesoft and Salesforce. So with this, there are few non-functional requirements that we have achieved. First is, we have maintained security on our database. That is, earlier, all those services were directly exposed, or sorry, the Salesforce database were directly exposed to all these services. And since we have provided connections to each of them, there might be a injector or a hacker coming through, and your database is exposed. So what we have it, we had an additional layer of security where these applications wouldn't know from which database, from which system are you pulling up the data. Okay, and since Mulesoft is a middleware, it doesn't hold any active connections with the database. So your database is safe. So the first non-functional requirement that we covered up here is the security. Okay, then comes reliability. That is, if your Salesforce connection is changed, you just have to change the connection in this particular string and everything will start working properly. So the maintenance is easy. The reliability is better. Okay, now consider a scenario where nowadays organization wants to move towards cloud. They don't have Salesforce, but they have a legacy system. Okay, let's take a legacy system here. By legacy system, I mean any on-prem database. Okay. Since it's on-prem database, how will you make the data available on a cloud hub? Okay. Since Mulesoft is a cloud hub application, that is, its server is deployed on cloud hub, we will open an IPsec tunnel between Mulesoft and this on-prem database. So now the security is leveraged. We have connected only Mulesoft with the on-prem database, and the data is accessible to all the systems. So you don't have to make different connections, open any IPsec tunnel, or have a tunneling mechanism to connect each of these systems with the on-prem database. So all your backend is safe. So there can be multiple backend systems. Okay. And each of them will be connected only via Mulesoft. Okay. Then comes the complexity. Okay. Presently, we thought only about point-to-point integration where the web application connected with the Salesforce and there is a direct Java web service. Now, suppose employee data is stored in Salesforce while the salaries are stored in an on-prem database. In that case, the web application wants to show the details on the web application to the leadership of the organization with the employee and its salary. You need to connect this web application via two connections, first with Salesforce and then with the on-prem database. Okay. Instead, Mulesoft already have an active collection. Okay. we will expose multiple APIs as part of this service. This is the first API. This is the second API. Then comes third API, fourth, fifth, sixth. Each of them connecting with one of the databases. First, second connects with Salesforce. Third API will connect with third database. Okay. So now the web application will make a call to the first API, gather the details from Salesforce. Then this web application makes a call to the second API of MuleSoft. Okay. Gather the details from the on-prem database. Consolidate all these details and it is shown on the web application. Okay. Now I don't want to give access to this system for the on-prem database, so I can restrict the access. There comes the fifth feasibility of the access management, that your data is not exposed to all the systems and you have the leverage to manage the access. Good. Any
Yeah.
doubt here on the process of utilizing the middleware and why middleware is used and why organizations are moving towards API-led approach and paying to have middleware?
Yeah, one question here on the MuleSoft middleware part.
Okay.
Yeah. So is the MuleSoft here really a cloud middleware platform, or
Yes.
how is?
So that's why MuleSoft stands apart. It provides all three functionalities to you. Okay. First, cloud-based. Second, on-prem. Third, hybrid. Okay. That is, if any organization wants to have all the things, that is the runtime plane where the servers, where the APIs will be deployed, and your access management, that is control plane, on Cloud Hub, MuleSoft provides that service. If you want to have both, if you want to have your runtime plane and control plane on your own system, that is on-prem system, MuleSoft provides that functionality as well. You can have everything on your own system if you don't trust our Cloud Hub. Okay. Usually banking applications with go with on-prem. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, one more question. What is the data has to flow in the other direction? Let's say Salesforce is my UI for the user, and SAP is the actual ERP database.
Perfect.
Okay. So now I'll use the MuleSoft and pull the data from SAP and display it on the Salesforce.
Yes. So Salesforce does provide, I mean, you have Epic services, right? Or you have other services where you will make a call. Salesforce will make a call to one of the MuleSoft API. Okay. This API will connect with the SAP database. This is your SAP database. Okay. So we'll connect with the SAP database, gives back response on the Salesforce UI.
Okay. All these are pre-built in the existing MuleSoft, or we need to implement the new?
We have to develop all these APIs.
Oh, okay.
There are pre-built connectors, that is, there are connector available to connect with the SAP. Okay. So the implementation is easy. Okay. But you have to develop it. I mean, because it cannot be same across all the organizations, right? Because the structure inside the database is different for every organization. The connection to the SAP is different for each and every organization. So what MuleSoft want is, they have an inbuilt connector. Sorry, just configure the credentials inside that connector, give the structure, give the data that you want to extract, expose the service, and Salesforce will utilize it. So it can be other way around as well. So you can connect any system with any system. It's endless. There are millions of systems available in the market across the world, and MuleSoft has the capability to connect, or any system can call MuleSoft and MuleSoft can make a call to any system. Because MuleSoft have the ability to follow all the standards, all the protocols. That's one of the advantages of MuleSoft over other platforms. Okay.
Yeah, and just one last question. Sorry.
Yeah.
For the curiosity's sake, what programming language we use for MuleSoft here?
Okay. So MuleSoft tool is internally built on Java. Okay. But we don't have to code anything on Java. And even you don't have to use any coding languages in MuleSoft. Once we move to Studio, that is, this is the platform of MuleSoft, where we will implement any application. Okay. Inside this application, you don't have to code anything. Instead, it would be a drag and drop feature. That is, there will be few icons available. We will drag and drop those icons on our palette, configure those icons, and the coding of that icon is already is done internally by MuleSoft. I will show you the coding that is internally done in the MuleSoft using the XML. Okay, so you don't have to explicitly use any of the coding language in MuleSoft. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now MuleSoft have its own one of the language called DataWeave. DataWeave is a transforming language, which we will cover. I mean, it's a very advanced topic. So once we develop any solution in order to convert any, like suppose your SAP database, when you want to get any information from SAP is saying that I will give you information only in XML format. While Salesforce developers say, but I don't want to have it in XML, please give it to me in JSON format. Then MuleSoft, what MuleSoft will do is, MuleSoft will connect with SAP, gets back the XML data, convert that XML into JSON, and then give it back to Salesforce. Now that conversion from XML to JSON, or XML to CSV, or CSV to JSON, or CSV to XML, is done using the DataWeave language. We will learn about the DataWeave language as well and how to implement that on MuleSoft.
So the DataWeave language is only to convert the data into specific format.
Yes, only for the transformations.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got it.
Only for the transform. It's not used for any coding or implementing any functionality. To implement the functionality, we only have the drag and drop feature, okay, with which it's done. Okay. Earlier, I mean, this is the concept of Mule 4. Earlier in Mule 3, we used to have one more coding language called Mule Expression Language, which is called as MEL. Okay. But since nobody uses Mule 3 now, and with the advanced Mule 4, MuleSoft has removed Mule MEL completely. So earlier we used to write something in Mule expression language, but nowadays we no longer use it. Okay.
Okay.
Any other thing?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. So coming back to your first question, that is it cloud application or not? So it's suppose all three: cloud, on-prem, and hybrid. I have a slide later wherein we will discuss the components of MuleSoft, in which I can explain it better on how Cloud Hub, on-prem, and hybrid are utilized. Okay.
Yep.
Coming back to the slide, I covered most of the things here. What is MuleSoft? We already covered, we saw it in the demonstration. Okay. Now, MuleSoft is acquired by Salesforce now. Earlier, it was its own company. They used to handle everything, but now Salesforce is the managing part who manage the entire platform of MuleSoft. Okay. MuleSoft servers are available on AWS. So Salesforce also manages the AWS component. Okay. It's an integration platform. We call it as an integration platform and an API management platform, because MuleSoft not only helps to develop a API, but also to manage the API, secure the API, access the API, access management of the API, okay, and creating a proxy of the API with also advanced feature like AI. We also have AnyPoint code builder, with which the code, the one that you were asking, the code will be created automatically. You just have to ask AI, and the AI will create the API on MuleSoft automatically. AnyPoint have that MuleSoft have that feature called as AnyPoint code builder. Okay. Okay. If you see, it's the runtime engine of AnyPoint platform is a lightweight Java-based service. Okay. It allows developer to connect any applications with the other application very quickly and very easily, with which we can exchange the data. Okay. Now, in order to exchange the information or to connect with any applications, we can use JMS as well. We have virtual machines as well. We have web services. We have JDBC connector. We have HTTP and many, many more. Okay. Now, the one that I explained earlier, why does it called as API management platform? Okay. This is the platform, anypoint.mulesoft.com. We will take a tour of this particular website as well, where everything is managed. Okay. Because in this one, we call it as platform because we can design the API. That is, we can design the RAML, which we saw in the earlier slides. We can develop the API. We can deploy the API on the same platform. We can manage the API on the same platform. We can secure the APIs and we can reuse the APIs. All those things are covered via same platform, which is called as anypoint.mulesoft.com. Here comes the components of MuleSoft. Okay. If you see, I was referring to the control plane running in AWS. Then we have a runtime plane, which is running on the Cloud Hub, private Cloud Hub, or on-prem. Okay. Runtime plane is the place where the applications, the APIs will be deployed. The control plane is the place from which it is accessed or it is managed. Okay. Then comes the Anypoint Management Center. That is, Anypoint provides the MuleSoft have an Anypoint feature with which it provides the analytics. It provides the security. It provides the deployment model. That all comes under Anypoint Management Services. Okay. And this is called as runtime services. I mean, if you want to go with single tenant, multiple tenant in case of hybrid solutions or on-prem solutions. Okay. With the Cloud Hub solutions, we have the concept of workers and the vCores, which is done for the vertical scaling and the horizontal scaling of the APIs. Okay. Suppose your API have a higher load, that is, there would be millions of requests coming in to that API. Okay. In that case, we will have a vertical scaling. We will scale the API in such a way that it can handle small payload with millions of requests. Then you have other API which have a bulk load. In that bulk load, you will have the API in the horizontal scalable manner, wherein it can handle lesser number of requests, but with huge payloads. Okay. So these are all the components of MuleSoft. Okay. Then comes API-led connectivity. Okay. Wherein, as you saw in the diagram in the paint as well, there is a mobile app. Okay. And there is a campaign portal. Both these things wants to connect with Gmail, Twilio, Twitter, MySQL, SAP, SFDC, again MySQL, and then .NET. Okay. In order to connect with all of them, we will expose multiple APIs here. Okay. Now, MuleSoft have a standard practice of calling the APIs into 3 segments: experience, process, system. Process will handle the functionality. Experience will only be exposed to the UI parts, and system will always interact with the internal application. So that's the internal security that MuleSoft provides, that this mobile application can never know which API or how is MuleSoft connected with Gmail, because mobile application only connected with this API. This API makes a call to the process API. Now, process API makes a call to the system API, fetches the information. Okay, or let's take this example where mobile application makes a call to the order fulfillment API. Okay, then this order fulfillment makes a call to the notification process API. Notification process API fetches the data from Twitter, sends a mail, sends a message via Twilio, then sends a mail via Gmail, gives back the response to order fulfillment, and then gives back the response to the mobile application. That everything is processed successfully. Okay. By this, the same Gmail application can be leveraged via multiple process API. So you don't have to create connection with Gmail again and again. Okay. Once we start the hands-on and everything, right, you will be more familiarized with experience, process, and system layers. Moving ahead, we will take a tour of the Mulesoft platform, the runtime plane, the control plane that we discussed. We will have all these things. Okay, we will see all these things on a high level. 1 second. Okay, so you can go to anypoint.mulesoft.com. Okay, once you type anypoint.mulesoft.com, it will automatically take you to login.signin page. Sign in with your by just providing the first name. It will ask for the basic information like first name, last name, organization, your phone number, your email ID, and everything. Provide all these information and it will create an account for you. Once an account is created, you can see a dialog box like this. Click on sign in, and this takes you to the Anypoint platform portal, from where you can manage everything. Okay. On the right hand side, you can see your profile that you have set up. This will be your organization. Okay. And on the left, you will see multiple functionality. Okay. As we discussed, Code Builder is the AI platform via which you can develop the code here itself. You don't have to utilize this application, Anypoint Studio application at all. But it's not very matured right now. It can only help you with very basic point-to-point integrations. In order to have any complex integrations, mostly 99% of the developers go towards Studio only. Okay, the Salesforce team is still working on this Anypoint Code Builder. From the design center, you can design your RAML. Okay, like let's suppose I designed a RAML for the employee API. It will open the RAML. Here. Okay, you see our employees endpoint is exposed. Okay, wherein we will give back all the employee details. Okay, the example that how the response will look like is given here. This form. We'll give employee ID, firm ID, name, phone number, address, location, company experience, and role. So we will expose this RAML onto Design Center. We will construct this RAML on Design Center and then publish it to Exchange. Okay, Exchange is a place where all the Mulesoft APIs are exposed, and we will move to Exchange now. Now this is a place where business users and your architects will come in. Now the thing that you have prepared on the Design Center comes onto the Exchange. They will come to Exchange, see your API. Okay, you have exposed one endpoint to fetch all the employee details with the get method. Here is the URL to that particular API, and it will respond it like this. Now, if your architect says, I want the desk name as well, that on which desk this person sits in, this means this is incorrect. So now you need to go back to Design Center once again, add the field desk system, and then add it here, publish it to Exchange, and then it will populate it here. So by this way, architect would be confident that I am getting all the details that I am expecting. Okay. After Exchange comes API Manager. Via API Manager, you manage your APIs, the security policies that you want to implement on top of your APIs. Like, for example, you don't want anyone to get access to your APIs more than once in a day. In that case, what you will do is the same API that was developed on Design Center comes up here. You click on this API, go to policies, and implement any policy that you want. There are hundreds of policy already developed by Mulesoft, and you just have to configure it. Configure rate limiting. Next. How many requests you want? I want just 5 requests within 24 hours. Add it. I just want 1 request. A policy has been applied on top of your API. Now nobody will be able to call your API more than 5 times in 24 hours window. It's done automatically on top of your API. Okay. Then the last and the important part is the runtime manager. There are other things as well, but these are advanced concepts which we will cover later. On to the runtime manager, we will deploy our APIs. Sandbox. Also, one more thing, this will be a trial account which will be accessible only for 30 days. Okay, then after that you have to create one more account, then try to deploy any application here. Okay, you will give the application name, the target on which you want to deploy the application. That is on Cloud Hub 2.0, or it's the hybrid or whatever. If it's on-prem, then this runtime plane won't be here on this anypoint.mulesoft.com. Because it's on-prem, your organization is maintaining it themselves. There is a separate process for that. Okay. Then comes the last slide. Where do we start the Mulesoft journey? That is how do you start getting knowledge on Mulesoft? You will first have the training, and then you have exam readiness sessions by Salesforce on the Trailhead platform. You already have access to Trailhead since you all are from Salesforce background. So I don't have to discuss too much on Trailhead. Okay. I think that's all from my side today. If you have any questions, anything that you want to discuss regarding the session or anything else.
Okay, this Mulesoft, sorry. So this training, how many hours for the complete development on the Mulesoft will take?
See, earlier this training was on training.mulesoft.com. There was one other website. Okay, training.mulesoft.com, wherein you can create your platform, wherein you can create your account and get yourself trained within, I would say, around it was 60 hours course or a 70 hours course. Okay, but now if you see, they have moved it and redirected it to Trailhead. Okay, inside the Trailhead, I'm not sure how many training hours do you need, because it's a very recent one. It's been almost 1 or 2 months. I haven't got the chance to go inside Trailhead Academy and take the trainings here. I did it from the old platform. So I need to search on that.
I'm asking about this SSIT training. So how many hours altogether for development of this course?
This one would be answered by Satish.
Okay.
No, you are asking about this one. Okay.
Yeah.
I was referring to this one. This will be answered by Satish. You can contact the SSIT contact person. They will inform you better.
Okay.
Any
Yeah,
other
I
thing?
think I'm good. Most of the questions got clarified.
Okay.
Good. So, yeah, Anu, I think we are good on this. The demo
Good.
part.
Okay. So I'll stop sharing. Satish, you there?
They have left probably. So,
I don't think he is.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
we
think
can wrap up.
we can wrap up, and probably so we'll reach out back to SSIT and we'll try to finalize this. Yeah, it is
Okay.
really a good session, and thank you so much for your time and explanation. It was nicely explained.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Have a good
Bye.
day. Bye.